Mark, we're here today to discuss a very exciting development for the young players at the club. Would you like to tell us what's going to be going on next season?
Yeah, well, we've agreed to take part in an inaugural tournament called the New Gen or New Generation League, which is a tournament specifically for under 19 stroke under 20 age group, which will see us take part and compete against the best in Europe. So a la Champions League format. So we're going to be part of a 4-team group, which includes Celtic, Marseille and the mighty Barcelona. So we've been drawn in that group. There will be 4 groups of 4. And the top 2 go forward to a knockout competition then in January with a venue to be determined. But we see it as a very exciting sort of part and chapter in the development of Manchester City.
It's quite revolutionary in its concept, obviously, and I'm guessing now that the format and the way that the season pans out will suit the players more than the traditional play in the league.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the whole structure, I mean, the academy structure tends to be quite formalised with dedicated games programmes for the under 18s every Saturday and a dedicated programme on a Sunday for the 9 to 15 age group. When you get into the sort of elite development realms, what existed previously was the Premier League reserve league, for want of a better description, and we found that was just a little bit too rigid maybe in terms of fixtures. What this allows us to do is 2 things really. One, to align the academy with the elite development group in a much more sort of homogenised way, if you want, and at the same time it allows us that scope and flexibility on a flexible games programme to make sure we can participate in tournaments like this and also take advantage of playing games perhaps further afield as we engage more with some of our sort of close relations across Europe and within the UK. So it gives us a flexible games programme to be playing at that under 19 and 20 age group.
It's effectively a mini Champions League, isn't it? It's going to give these lads a lot of experience of what it's going to be like to have a career as a professional footballer.
Yeah, again, I think it's the next stepping stone. So as they come through the academy system, and I pass them on to Andy Welsh, effectively what Andy's got then is a platform for those guys to be playing football at a level that is probably commensurate with their development stage, and obviously gives them a great stepping stone, as you say, to prepare for those balmy nights when hopefully they'll be figuring in Champions League as we move forward.
You're obviously going to be preparing them for what is a pressurised job in a lot of ways as well. They're going to get used to various aspects of the job that they might not meet in normal circumstances until quite later on. So we're getting them used to things like the dealing with the media, travelling abroad.
Yeah, again, it's all very much part of the development programme that we speak of, where, you know, what we can do at that age is to prepare them as best we can for what they're going to encounter as fully fledged professionals. And as we look more and more, you know, if you look at the average age of a debut in Premier League now, it's becoming sort of older and older, 21, 22, whereas maybe 4 or 5 seasons ago it might have been 17 or 18. So it helps bridge that gap between the 18 and 21 age, where you're preparing them for a better standard of football than probably what they're playing on an academy level on a Saturday. It gets them to mix with the best in Europe of that age. It gives us a great comparison in terms of where we are with our talent to what other talent is out there, and it gives them a great stage to prepare for their futures.
It's a great thrill for these lads as well, I should imagine, to think that they'll be playing Barcelona at Hyde.
Yeah, I don't think that's a difficult one to get up for somehow. We've got Barcelona home on Thursday, so I think that will go down quite well. But no, seriously, I think it's fantastic for our fans as well, because it gives our fans a chance to see what's out there on a European basis as well at that age group. And who knows, we might be even seeing the new Lionel Messi playing on a Thursday night in Hyde, which I think is fantastic for our superb supporters who follow us through thick and thin.
It is, and of course it's quite a bit of kudos for the club to be involved in this. There are only 16 teams, and as we say, some of the best clubs in Europe, including ourselves.
Yeah, and that was very much part of the thought process. I think we were included right from the start. We'll be founder members. for which I believe this will go from strength to strength, and it will be a well followed competition. And as I say, it brings real competition and real sort of life affairs to the table in terms of football development. So yeah, I think it'll be fantastic for the lads. I think it'll be fantastic for the football club. Most importantly, as well, I think it'll be fantastic for our fans.
Will it be more demanding for the players as well?
I think it's always that challenge. You're suddenly pitting yourself against what France's best or Spain's best, and I think that's something we've always got to be aspiring to see if we're as good as, if not better than, those countries in terms of what they're doing with their talent and how they're developing. I think it'll be a fantastic fillip for the boys, but I think people should rest assured that's not where it ends with the elite development. It's not all about just playing 6 games. The elite development program is very much strong and with a very strong heartbeat in the club, and what we're looking for is just a more flexible games program which allows us to take that development as far as we can and to stretch it as a field and at home to give us the appropriate challenges for that age group.
Talking about the age group, what will the specifics be? You've got overage players as well, presumably. You're not restricted in the sense of...
Yeah, I mean, technically the tournament is an under-19 stroke under-20 tournament. We're allowed 3 under-20 players at any given time, so they can be named in a squad. So that squad is for a specific game, so you can rotate the 3, for example. But, again, I think it's really important for everyone to understand that's not where the elite development program ends. It's part of the elite development program, and it's designed specifically to integrate the academy and the elite in a much better way, and also to give the elite players that platform to play at a different level, whilst combining that with other games that we can arrange with the like clubs in that tournament that will give the older players enough scope and enough development to be able to play as well.
Who's going to be coaching the guys, and where are they going to be based? Yeah,
that'll be a shared responsibility. Andy Welsh will take primary control of the selection of the teams and the coaching, and we'll work very closely with Scott. And I think where we are, Andy, myself and Scott at the moment, is looking at how we align that operation on a weekly basis. So you may well find that, more and more time is spent with the academy players up at Carrington, integrating more with the elite squad, once we know where we are numbers-wise, etc., etc. But I think it will be very much a pool of players is probably the best way to describe it. And those players will play on a Saturday, a Wednesday or a Thursday, plus, those friendly games that I've spoken about, plus the various competitions like the Manchester Senior Cup, Lancashire Senior Club, etc., etc., which we will obviously be taking part in as well. So it's really important for me, for the fans, especially to know that elite development football is not going away. It's very much there, and we're looking to grow and make that program more sustainable and more relevant to the age groups we're dealing with.
One of the young players that the fans have been talking about recently is Devante Cole. Now, he's just signed a new contract, I understand. Yeah,
Devante joins us, we're pleased to say, as a scholar. He's an under-16 at the moment coming through, so he'll be under-17 next year. And he's joining a group that we're quietly pleased about. And again, we're looking forward to integrating that. But it'll be a great opportunity for those boys. As we've always said, we'll push them to their level of development. So if Devante's ready to play in that game, he'll play. As will others in that scholar squad, because ultimately we're looking to develop them as quickly but in the right way. So when they're ready, and Andy and Scott will decide that when they're ready, they'll be pushed forward to play and take part in those games, or may even join for experience. It's very much part of the culture we're developing at the moment.
I bet you can't wait.
No, it's fantastic. It's everyone's been talking about it. It's only been sort of put to bed in the last sort of couple of weeks finally. But yeah, I think the integration with Platt Lane and Carrington is very much at our soul here. We've been trying to do that over the last season, and I think next year we'll start to see that coming to fruition, where we integrate players more, obviously to try and hope that out of that comes a player that Roberto will take on and give their chances. As you know, he's been fantastic at giving players their chances, and he's just basically making that available to us, that if we can find the players, he'll give them the opportunity, which is always great.